ahead. Good morning. Good morning. We are so happy to see you back this morning. And was everybody refreshed overnight? Okay, well, we have to jump right in and get with it. We know we are heading in our last two seminars for our leadership certificate. See a few of you, about 6, 7, 8, 9 of you are almost done. We're almost at the end, and you'll walk away with your, no, not walk away with your certificate, but you'll be more than half of the way there of being certified in the level 1 of our leadership. Today we're going to be talking about advertising. Excited about it? How many of you have already advertising your women's ministry? Oh, great. Great, great. You might be able to share something with us that we don't have covered on our slides. And if we have it and it's working for you, you'll be able to share that with the group as well. Well, we know the line of communication for women's ministry is important for both in the church as well as public awareness. And it will take some planning for both of them to work. And it is essential that we plan for these things. There are several ways that we can advertise. Can you think of a couple of ways we can advertise? It's right there on the screen. Remember, there's going to be no test questions here that you don't probably have the answer right before you or holding in your hands. What's a couple of ways? How do you do television? Yes. Yes. There are public announcements, and a lot of times some of your 5 o'clock news has a little section for what's happening in your community. But in order to know what's happening, you're going to have to get out and ask these questions. And today we're going to give you a couple of entities that will be able to share those things with you. Free is the magic word for advertising. Free. Free coming from you, saying that what you're offering to the community and to the church is free. And individuals that have magazines and different weekly booklets that comes out about what's happening around. If your event is free, they will most likely print it for free, or the cost is very, very small and minimal that you can afford. Remember yesterday we spoke about supporting women's ministry and having a pot of money whenever we encourage women to go ahead and place on your tithe envelope. If it's just $10 a month consistently, one individual would have put $120 in by the end of the year. And those are monies that you can use for your advertising. For advertisement inside of the church, I see a hand. Okay, we're getting there. We sure are. Well, inside the church, our bulletin inserts and flyers is how we advertise within our churches. And can anyone guess about the time that you would think that you should start advertising your upcoming event in your church? Yes. Is the answer on the screen behind me? You already knew it, or is it the answer in your handout? Yes, it sure is. So that means you are looking 3 months. You want to start getting your flyers out. Put them in. Say that again. 3 months is a great time. Individuals that are in the church will start looking at their calendar, and if they're writing in calendars on their cell phones, or even if you still have the old hand one that I still have, you can start writing those things in so your women can block out those Sabbaths or block out that week that you're doing that. So 3 months is what we want to look at. Now, there's a thing that we should, as a group of women with your women's ministry group, somewhat of a logo. And if you don't have one, this is one that we want to present to you. We're going to use this. We're going to say that we are Women's Ministries Group, okay? This is our church. This is our group. And our theme is what? Women Alive for Christ. And, you know, everyone loves acronyms. And so what is it? W? What is it again? What is it again? And what does it stand for? So whenever you do your flyer for your bulletin, we're going to always have your bulletin inserts. We're going to always have what on there? Women Alive for Christ. However, it's going to be choreographed on your flyers. We're going to get to that in a minute. We have been advised to seek out professionals to help us with our flyers. We don't want to look like we just threw something together. We also want to do that when we do our tables with booths and things that we would advertise women's ministry. And how many of us have been over to see the women's ministries table and the prayer table? Very good. Isn't it put together very nicely? It didn't look like it was thrown together at all. And when we do our booths and when we do our flyers and things of that nature, we want them to look as professional as possible. And there are professionals out there. We probably have some graphic designers within our own congregations. And if not, we may have one in our sister congregation. And the internet allows us to share so much with one another. So that's not going to be hard to do. But we want to get it out in at least 3 months if it's for inside of the church. And we want to keep our theme always there, Women Alive for Christ. If you don't have one, you can use it. Today, this group of women, this group of women's ministry would be, our theme would be what? W? Exactly. Now, something else that we can do for outside of the community, that's what we do inside the church. Where can we put them at in our communities? Who says Starbucks? You are on it, and I want you to say that at the end again because it's going to be a place for that, Starbucks. I absolutely love it. But here we have several places that we can put our flyers, and you can put those right there on your handout on page 1. You see all of those lines there? These places can go, and whatever else you can think of. But let me tell you a place that I don't know if any of you have thought of it. If permission has been granted to you, we must always make sure that we ask individuals, can we put our flyer up? Can we put it up? And when we go, we don't want to be dressed necessarily in our workout clothes again, like we spoke about earlier this week. We are advertising our women's ministry. We represent our Heavenly Father. You dress to impress, knowing that you are representing your Heavenly Father. And I tell you, when you have an individual that comes to you and they look professional, they speak professional, they act professional, you absolutely give them your attention. And it's kind of hard to say no to them. And God has given us beautiful smiles. Some of us love to smile. That's the woman that you want to go. You want to get that woman who doesn't take no, but not forcefully, but one that would just say, well, can you work it this way or that way? One of those. And let me tell you, I can be one of those. I will take whatever you would give me. I say, well, if that doesn't work, just what can you give me? And before you know it, they'll be back to give you what you actually asked for from the beginning. It has worked, trust me. But one place that's not here, and it has worked phenomenally, and it works very well if your group is going to do an End It Now program, or if you're going to start a support group for women that are dealing with childhood sexual abuse. One of the best places is the bathroom stall. Not just the bathroom wall, the bathroom stall. Because we can go in, remember we're talking about heartaches and things that's hard to deal with, things that we might not have the courage to say in front of other women. And those types of seminars and groups will be closed sessions just for those types of individuals. Those sessions will be not open for curious ears. Not at all. I know it works because it worked for me. I saw that sign in a bathroom stall. And all of your contact information will be there. And as we say, we're going to have professionals that's going to help us design these things. Or we're going to get help from our women's ministry leader. The conference may be even able to help us. We're going to give something that's going to be appealing to the eye. And all of your information will be there. We're going to go over everything that we should have inside our advertisement. But do not forget the bathroom stalls. You can also take them to other churches. not Adventist churches. We have a church that shares our church's parking lot every single weekend. We're parking in our parking lot on Sabbath. They park in our parking lot on Sunday. The only thing that separates us is our parking lot and a street. So when we have things, we take our flyers over to them, and we allow them to bring their flyers over to us. You spread it out everywhere. Please don't forget bathroom stalls. Mm-hmm.
This big. It's the size of a business card, and it has an adhesive backing. This can be made available to you. All you need to do is talk to Cindy, and she can get some of those. It's very small, and there is a little flyer there that lists help lines for people. It gives help for domestic violence, for any type of abusive situation that people might be in. And the thought behind that is, if it's stuck on the wall, the door of the stall inside, the person picks it up. And if that person is sitting with the abuser, this little flyer, this little card, is small enough to be tucked away so that the abuser doesn't see. When I come back in church and sit, I don't have something big in my hand, but it is something that is very helpful. So be sure you ask Cindy about that. It comes from the North American Division, and it's just about this, and it would just work perfectly in a restroom stall, on the door, on the inside. So don't forget that. Thank you for sharing that.
And for something to be that small, even when it's large, there's three things we want it to be. We want it to be short, clear, and upbeat. That's still going back to our communications. Short, clear, and upbeat. Along with keeping your motto, which is again? It's been asked that we have our North American Division logo on all of our advertising as well. Cindy has this template, and she'll be able to get it to you. You see here where it has Atlantic Union Conference. We'll be able to pull that out and put Carolina Conference there. Yes. Okay? She's going to be able to get that to you. This is, what are we talking about? Advertising. It is women's ministry. We want to keep women's ministry out there. It's going to be on all that we have. And we are what? Women alive for Christ. If you don't have a slogan, take that and run with it. You can own it. Make it yours. Women alive for Christ. Women's Ministries of what? Carolina? Of what? So let's start again. We're going to have what? Our motto, Women Alive for Christ. We're going to have our North American Division Women's Ministry logo that's going to say what underneath?
Carolina Conference of Seventh-day Adventists.
You're getting it. You're getting it, girls. We're going to take it with us, and we are going to run with it. Speakers to advertise Women Alive for Christ, you have to have that woman that's what? Friendly, absolutely bubbly, one that you just can't hardly say no to. And say that again? A lot. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. We make announcements. These women are the ones that you want to get up and make your announcements. That offering is July what? The second Sabbath in July. You do not want July 18th? 8th. Okay. 8th. July 8th. You want a woman that's going to get up there and be alive for Christ. You want a woman that can drum you up some money. Right? Don't you want Cindy to be able to send you back something? She's got to have a pot. She's got to have a pot. Now, let me tell you a little trick. You may have heard it already. That's good. Use it again. When you're trying to raise your money, you're trying to get that big offering going, ask every man and woman in there to pull out their wallets and tell them to give you the biggest bill they have in it. And get, somebody has $100 bill, and you know, they love it. Men have those all the time in their wallets. They have them. You said, not your husband? Well, let me tell you, look, we have a man in here, And he's heard some of our tricks already. But that's it. We want the biggest bill in your wallet. The biggest. Ooh. Don't tell them until they take it out. Treasure should be happy. You should be grinning now. You'd be like, oh, wow. I'm going to have to call in a couple of extra counters today. Yes. You have someone that's going to make it lively, someone that they just can't say no to. And guess what? If you don't have that big bill, we will take a check today. And if you don't have the checkbook, you don't have that big bill that you feel like the Holy Spirit is impressing on your heart to give this women's ministry group $500 a day, we will take an IOU and expect it on next Sabbath. Yeah, I'm telling you, that's it, a pledge card. We'll take it. This is what we do. We are advertising women's ministry. You need a woman that's not afraid. You need one that she'll step out on faith knowing that the angels are there with her, and she will advertise. This is what we're doing today, ladies. We are advertising. You want those women that can go sit on a television station just in a little room that's probably no bigger than that booth back there, but you would think they were sitting before a whole audience whenever you hear that radio announcer ask her questions about your group. You want one that can just pop off those answers just like that. And if you go to anything, the default line will always be, we are women alive for Christ. Now, reaching out, there we go. These are those public service announcements. We hear them all the time. How many of us listen to the radio? How many of you listen to your local stations? Yes? I listen all the time. And they will tell you, if you have a public announcement, they'll give you the rules for their station. They will give you the rule. I hear them all the time. When we listen to our local stations, we're here, and I'm sure we're all listening to our Christian stations. We're hearing about all of these churches doing things all over the place. Why is our church not there? It's free. And they'll tell you, I can't tell you, I hear it all day long on my radio. If you have a public announcement, this is what you need to do. Fax it into this. They want it what? It's 2 weeks in advance. So whenever we were doing the 3 months for in-house, that's not what we need for the community. You have to get with each entity that you're using, whichever one it may be, and find out what their time frame is. And we want it to be 3 things. What is it to be?
Short, clear, and attractive.
And upbeat. And we cannot, again, when you hear that Women Alive for Christ, and I just love those radio announcers, they just have that thing about themselves. Those sports announcers, people that are always on the air, they have a way of saying things. It's like, oh, what did they say? And before you know it, it's a little jingle. How many of you have been singing Sisters in the Lord this week after you've left here? I know at least one. She's been singing it. She hadn't heard it till she was here, and I played a lot. Things that just resonate with you. And before long, you'll be like, women alive for Christ. Women alive for Christ. We want, when women hear that, to know that it's us. It's our group. It's our church. Oh, there they are again. They have something else going on, because we're keeping that same theme over and over. And it is an upbeat theme. Women alive for Christ. Is it time for a breakout session? It is. Take a look at your handout, and we're going to discuss a press release. Do you see that on page 2? You know what? I didn't get. Excuse me. There's a couple things needed. It's the 6 elements that we have here, and I bet you already know at least 4 of them. And what is it? Yes. Here we go. It's the what? The when? The where? the why, the who, and the how. Now listen to this press release, okay? And I want you to see if you can catch it. Who's going to catch? No, you know what? We're going to go through it really quick because of our time. You know, our time constraints gets us every single time. But listen to this and see if you can pick this up, okay? It's a sample of a press release. Women's Stress Seminar at Health Department. Oh, just listen now. I'm trying to say it slow enough so you can catch it. I'm sorry. But yes, you can go ahead with your what. Here we go. Do you ever feel like you're a fried piece of meat pressed by a limp piece of lettuce, a tomato slice, and 2 pieces of half-burnt toast? The Sandwiched Woman is that no-cost seminar to help women cope with the sandwich feeling. It's a 2-hour seminar presented by Eleanor Bussey, MD, a women's health specialist who is slated to give this seminar from 7 to 9 on Monday, April the 10th, at the Moody Health Department Auditorium, 1700 Main Street. Due to the breakout sessions to be facilitated by female nurse practitioners, attendance is limited to 40. To register, please call 123-4567. Register by Friday, April the 7th. You didn't get it? It's a stress seminar. It's a stress seminar. That's the what? When is it? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And let me tell you, if it's a press release, you're going to hear it over and over. And if it's in the newspaper, you're going to actually see it printed. But these are the things that should be in your press release. Make sure that they can answer these questions. Where are we now? We've got the where, right? Where is it at? Let me help you out. Turn to page 3 in your handout. I didn't want to tell you that. Because you're not supposed to run ahead of the teacher. You're not supposed to go ahead. You're not supposed to go ahead. Okay. But in this press release, every single of these answers are there. You see how short it is? Okay, so now that you can see on the side, why? What's the why? I heard it, yes. For women that's feeling sandwiched. And who? Yes. Mm-hmm. And the how? You didn't get what part? Okay. Are you looking at your handout? This is a press release. This was a radio announcement. Right. The sandwiched feeling. And remember, she was sandwiched like she was a fried piece of meat between a limp piece of lettuce, a slice of cheese, a slice of tomato, and what? 2 half-burnt pieces of bread. She is stressed to the hilt. And now how are they going to take care of that woman? What's the how here?
They're going to be presenters.
Wait.
They're going to have a 2-hour seminar.
Let some of these ladies, because you already know. Yes, I'm going to recognize this hand. It's giving them coping skills, but there was something else. I thought I heard someone say it. How are they going to minister to the ladies? Go ahead. That's it. It was limited to 40 because it's telling the woman you're going to get some individual attention. They have these nurse practitioners there, and you have this doctor there. You're going to get some individual attention. And it was that sandwiched. How did it start out? Do you feel like a fried piece of meat pressed by a limp piece of cheese? I love cheese. I love cheese. Can't you tell? Yeah, we need some cheese in there. A limp piece of lettuce, A tomato slice and 2 pieces of half burnt toast. Do you feel like that? She says it's pathetic, right? And when a woman hears that feels like that, her ears are going to perk up. I do feel like that. Let me get this information. And guess what? Radio stations say it all the time. Whenever you have a real good announcement that they just, the listening audience couldn't catch it because it went too fast, I have heard it time and time again. That radio announcer will get back on after a couple of songs and say, you know what? I've had calls come back about that announcement that we just ran. And they will go back over it. Has anybody else heard that other than me? I know I have. Because the radio station would get inundated with calls because they heard something and it went so fast. And they didn't catch everything, but they caught enough of it that caught their attention that they went back and they called that radio station so that they could get the full announcement again. And the radio announcers are great with it. And when you get that going on, trust me, they'll probably slip your advertisement in again because they're getting calls about it because it was catchy. It was catchy and it was meeting a need that was in demand. Yes. To the did you miss us a few minutes ago? Where did we send it? To the radio station. You send it to the newspaper.
And any publication
Any
in
pu-
the community,
Mhm.
like your community has a little newspaper, send it to them and ask them to run it. There's a North Carolina magazine that's all over the state. And I recommend that in addition to the phone number, that include the website. Look here, it says include the website if you have it.
Mhm.
Press release, I would also include the yes. And so my comment would be, if you're doing flyers, I would assume that the flyer would be set up differently because when you're making flyers, people want to just catch the when and the where and the time and the place. And in one section, then you can do the blah, blah, blah at the bottom. Yes. That's for bulletin insert of something like that, you're saying, or a flyer that's
Mhm.
going to be posted.
Thank you for helping us with that. Thank you very much. Now, where else can we advertise at? We said the newspaper, the radio. How about community?
Our social committee and health committee will often create a Facebook page with Eventbrite, and then when I'm on it, then I can invite all my as many Facebook friends in the Greenport area. So I'll send them an Eventbrite via that, and it's free of charge. We say it's not a charge. It's just so we can get that RSVP through Eventbrite.
Wherever you go, you are a walking billboard. You are the radio announcement. Whatever it is that you have, you can use. Whether it's a T-shirt that's Women Alive for Christ. Remember I said the lady that had the T-shirt on, oh yeah, I know prayer still works. She was a walking advertisement. Women around us are hungry. They're looking for something. I was in a time in life when I needed prayer. Her T-shirt drew me right to her. Women Alive for Christ. Someone will definitely ask you. I was walking through over ready for lunch, and I saw a young person come through, and they had PT Solutions on their T-shirt. And I stopped them. I said, hey, do you work for them? They said, no. Or when I finished therapy, that's what I got. PT Solutions rang out to me because I am a client of PT Solutions. Say, what's PT Solutions? Physical therapy. When people see things that they don't know, they will ask you, but you are your own billboard. Get involved in the community. How do we get involved in community? We join other organizations. We join other women's groups. Not to come in and take over, but we join them and support them because we want them to eventually what? Support us. But we can't get it if we stay within ourselves. We work within because we are nurturing within so we can do what? Empower and then do what? Outreach. Yes, ma'am, I see a hand somewhere. And now you know, and you can get your material out there with that Women Alive for Christ or whatever your theme is for your group. You want to get it out there, and we want to always keep that logo there. I'm going to give you a few more places. Community events. The summer is here. There are going to be events all over our communities, and there are going to be bazaars, fairs. We have 4th of July coming up, fairs coming up. Get yourself a booth. We have our example of what to put on our table. We have examples there. Whatever your church is offering, but we, with that logo, it is the Women's Ministry Department. There are resources through ABC. You can put free material there. Those books, the handouts, everything that's over there is a wonderful tool. Take a picture of that. Take that home with you. Cindy will get those things in your hand without complication. Another place, hospitals. The hospital, I told you I'm a chaplain at the hospital. We're going to have several fairs this summer. The community is free to come in and set up your table. Free. Remember, F-R-E-E. That's what you want. And whenever you're providing something for the community, coming into places like that, they want you to say that it's free to the public. There's no charge when the women come, so you can display all of your things there. And yes, they allow churches. Yes, they allow churches. But the only way to find this information out, you're going to have to get out and get involved. We have a treasure chest within our Commerce, Chamber of Commerce, yes, Chamber of Commerce can give you tons of avenues to reach out. Most places have their Chamber of Commerce where they have their own event screen running. And you can get your events running on your city's Chamber of Commerce webpage. And if it's not that, they will be able to give you other entities that will be glad to let you come and advertise. Banners is a great way. Any of you have a banner for your women's ministry group? Well, I tell you, what's the name of our group?
Women Alive for Christ.
Can you imagine seeing us coming down in the parade with that? And here we are, we're holding the rest of us, we're just waving, and they're like, who are these women? And you have your flyers then, whatever you're doing next. The ones that's coming behind the ones with the banner, you're passing them out when you're going through. You're passing them out. You can give out suckers, something that's really easy to hand off to your people that's waiting. Banners are great. Get a banner that you can use continuously. Lots of people get banners, and they have a banner with a date on it. No, they do. Right, right. Oh, you're saying, right. Don't get one that can be reused over and over and over again. As long as we get one that is professional. I have seen people that have their banners, and they do it with a magic marker and a piece of paper, and that does not and will not represent Christ in a professional fashion. Yes, if you have one that's going to allow you to pull something off of Velcro or whatever it may be, we can do it that way. Yes.
I know that Staples does some really nice banners for about $40.
Yes, they do.
Very nice.
They do, and they are very nice. She is correct, because we've gotten several from there. They are very, very nice, and they'll get that logo off very, very nicely. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. Through the church, because if it comes in for women's ministry, and if it's WA, here's our treasurer here. She'll know.
She's
Office.
treasurer of my home.
Okay.
$100
I thought you meant of the church. I'm sorry. Bad communication. But yes, if they are writing things, yes, in the church's name, and your church treasurer will know Women Alive for Christ is women's ministry. Yes, ma'am. Oh. Yes. Did everybody get what she said? On the tithe envelope. But let me tell you, if the check comes in, treasurer knows what to do. Yes. Yes. They'll know where it goes. It's not hard. It wouldn't make that much of a difference, but yes, if you know exactly what you're doing, designate it. But if it's coming from the outside and they see Women Alive for Christ, if they're going with that theme that they heard or they heard women's ministry, it'll know how to get it directed there. That one is really not a big deal because if the money comes, we'll know where to put it. Getting in with the community, it means that you're rubbing shoulders with people of influence. You're rubbing shoulders with people of influence to get your booth, your posters or whatever on those fairs or whatnot. You have to talk to the hospital's public relations individual. Before long, you will get a relationship with him or her. When you have something else coming up, before you can get to them, they'll call you because your group come and you have nice goodies at your table. They want those people to come back that put nice goodies on the table. We have the chapstick over there. Did anybody get the chapstick? I've been using it. You did? How about those emery boards? They're not cheap. They're really, really nice. And you can get these things. Can they not get them for free? Yes. Oh, it's a minimal cost that's coming, huh?
Well, no, there are some items
That can
come
be
from
free.
the North American Division, like the emery boards.
Mm-hmm.
They have a lot of things that they give. But the conference director will you request through your conference director, and she can.
Without a problem. We have a luncheon to go to, and we wanted to see if we could get both of our seminars within this morning. Would everybody want to get both of them in within this morning? Okay. Have we given you some good information about advertising? You think you can do it? 30 minutes? Do you feel like you have enough? Yes. What? Did you forget? Okay. If we can get through everything. So we're going to try to get through everything right now. A couple of things we're going to remember. Where was the question? Mm-hmm. We'll talk to you right after we finish, okay? No problem. Remember always your audience, whoever you're dealing with, whether it's in the church, outside of the church. Do your research and brainstorming before you do things. It has to be with planning. It can't be off the cuff. Keep good records. Keep good records. Sometimes you say, well, did we call W whatever, meaning the radio call station, call numbers or whatever. If you have a group that always dealt with you well, remember them. Remember those names. If you see the news channels, the news stations that's all out, when you see their vans coming and their cars coming, if there's a reporter that's always at things for women, it's always promoting that, learn him or her name. Get that name. Call back to them. That's who you want to do your reporting. That's who you want to do your interview with. Dress appropriately at all times. If you're at the fair, don't dress like this. Not at the fair. You put on your fair clothes and have fun. You have your booth there, but dress appropriately all the time. Last but not least, whenever we talk about Women Alive for Christ and we want to get our point across, we want to sell it, we want to make it upbeat. Do not preach to whoever you're going to. Do not preach. We're not the preacher. Not then, although some of us will be preaching, some of us do preach, but we're not the preacher whenever we're out advertising. Not at all. Now, Beverly said a great place to advertise was where? I told you to remember that. Starbucks and Panera Bread. Women's Ministries is a group that support men. Women's Ministry is a group that support men. I'm glad we have at least 2 men in here. We want you to know, men, we support you. We are not a group that get together and bash our husbands or brothers or men or daddies. We need you. And we hope that you need us. And I brought that up because we want them to support us. Starbucks, what else was it? Panera Bread, Barnes and Nobles. Great places, Barnes and Nobles. Can I put my flyer here? We're buying books from you. You know, remember she started laughing because they tell me, no, well, we're going to buy, so many books. We buy here all the time. This is the catch for the men. I read this book. He's the king and girl, you're the queen. Men that's in the audience, you didn't know, but we're going to ask you for participation. Just by chance, does that sound interesting to you? If you saw that he's the king and girl, you're the queen? You know what? See, that man right there said, yes, ma'am. I bet if he saw that, because he's the king, we're putting a man where he wants to be. Let me tell you, he's going to go over there and see that Women Alive for Christ, and he's going to write down that contact number. And he's going to take it home, and he's going to give it to Cindy. You know what? I saw this when I was out at Barnes & Nobles. It might be good. Or I'm not quite sure what I saw, but they had this phone number. You might want to call them. I'm telling you, whenever men see things that will show them that women's ministries love them, we love our men, and we support our men, they will turn into walking advertisements for us. Trust me, they will. We have loved it. I thank you, ladies, for letting me present at Carolina Conference Camp Meeting. I have enjoyed you, and I'll be available for you after we finish. Yes.
I will say that with Barnes and Noble, Starbucks and Panera, they sell magnets because people put so many flyers on those walls, they run out of magnets.
Okay.
And also, in certain areas, make sure once you put those flyers up, go back and check. There are areas of Greenfro where I will put up flyers in certain Starbucks neighborhoods. They will come down. So I go back sometimes on a weekly basis to check, and I'll put another flyer up because I think they look. I'll see a Methodist church, but my church is gone. So I can go to my Guilford College one, and this flyer stays there all the time. So check, remember to follow up, and just go back and always have your flyers with you before an event and check on it.
And I love that. And Craigslist. People love these places. They're there all the time. Flyer galore. Flyer galore. You have enough women that can go back. Doesn't have to be one woman that's always checking the bulletins. Keep them in your car and put them up. And remember, bathroom stalls.
Thank you, Tangia. If you'd like to stand and stretch, what we can do would be to go right into this next segment, and we can just get these handed out. And we can, okay, go right ahead. You can take a little quick stand up, and then we'll just. That registration sheet. So
We'll bring the registration sheet so you'll get your credit for this afternoon. That's what I was getting ready to tell you. No.